Hey everyone, welcome back to the Deep Dive. So today we're going to be doing a deep dive into the world of data and AI, specifically for your business.
Sounds good.
You sent over a really interesting collection of articles and YouTube transcripts,
Yeah.
and we've been going through them, trying to figure out what the most important stuff is for you.
It's great to see all this interest from businesses of all sizes in data and AI.
Yeah, for sure.
This stuff is really a game changer, not just a bunch of buzzwords.
Absolutely. And one of the things that really jumped out at me from all this material
Yeah,
is that the world is becoming more and more data-driven.
right.
It's not just about crunching numbers anymore.
Uh-huh.
It's about figuring out what the data is telling us and using it to make smarter decisions.
That's right. And what's really interesting is that studies have actually shown that businesses that really use data analytics effectively
Okay.
are 23 times more likely to gain new customers compared to their competitors.
Wow.
And they're 19 times more likely to be super profitable.
Those are some pretty compelling stats. I mean, who wouldn't want to boost their chances of success like that?
Right.
But I think one of the articles mentioned that only 24% of business decision makers are really data literate.
Yeah,
That's a pretty small number.
it is a small number, but that also means there's a huge opportunity for businesses out there to gain a competitive edge
Okay.
just by improving their data skills.
Right, right.
You don't need to be a data scientist or anything.
Yeah.
You just need to know how to use the data you've got effectively.
So let's break that down a little bit.
Okay.
One of the things that kind of struck me was just the sheer volume of data.
Uh-huh.
Even a small business generates a ton of data every day.
Yeah.
Emails, transactions, website visits. Where do you even begin?
It can definitely be overwhelming, but you don't have to boil the ocean, right?
Right.
You can start small.
Uh-huh.
Focus on just a few key metrics that really drive your business.
Yeah.
Think about what numbers really matter. What are the things that keep you up at night or that you celebrate when things are going well?
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. So, if you're a retail business, it might be things like daily sales, foot traffic, average transaction value.
Yeah, exactly.
For service business, it might be client acquisition cost, project completion rates, customer satisfaction scores.
Right, right.
I think you get the idea.
Mhm.
It's about figuring out what data tells the most valuable story about your business, and then you got to figure out how to get insights from that data.
Exactly.
So one of the articles talked about the rise of simple analytics and BI.
Yeah.
And that really appealed to me because I think the idea of building these massive complex dashboards can be super daunting.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
So simple analytics is really about using the tools that are already out there and focusing on a few key performance indicators, KPIs.
Okay.
Think about easy-to-read charts, color-coded alerts, automated reports that highlight anything unusual.
Okay.
The goal is to make those insights jump out at you without getting lost in a sea of data.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That sounds much more manageable.
Right.
So can you give us a real-world example of how this simpler approach can actually work?
Yeah, sure. The materials you shared actually had a great example about a boutique grocery store owner
Okay.
named Jane.
Okay.
She used this really basic sales dashboard to keep an eye on her weekly sales.
Okay.
And she noticed this pattern. Every Friday, snack and beverage sales would just spike as people stocked up for the weekend,
Okay.
which meant empty shelves by Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
And she realized she was missing out on potential sales
Uh-huh.
and frustrating customers.
Yeah. So what did she do?
Well, just by recognizing this pattern,
Yeah.
she tweaked her inventory orders to have extra stock before the weekend rush.
Okay.
She implemented a Friday afternoon promotion for weekend bundles.
Smart.
And guess what? Sales in those categories jumped 10%, and customer satisfaction went up as well.
Wow.
All because she paid attention to a simple data pattern.
That's fantastic. That's a small change that made a big difference.
Uh-huh.
I bet there are tons of businesses out there with similar hidden patterns.
Absolutely.
Just waiting to be uncovered.
Yeah.
So there was another example in the materials about a small IT consulting firm.
Right.
And the owner, Carlos, realized that projects that went longer than 8 weeks were consistently going over budget.
Yeah.
So he implemented a basic time tracking dashboard.
Okay.
And he discovered that a particular service, security audits, were often experiencing something called scope creep.
Ah, scope creep.
Yeah, meaning the project requirements were expanding beyond the initial estimate, which led to more billable hours.
Right.
So how did he use the data to fix this problem?
Well, once he saw the pattern,
Yeah.
he implemented tighter check-ins at the 6-week mark for all projects.
Okay.
And he standardized the whole security audit process,
Makes sense.
using templates to minimize ambiguity and prevent that scope creep.
And did it work?
Yeah, it did. Okay. The firm significantly reduced project overruns in just a few months.
Wow.
saving an average of 15 billable hours per project,
Amazing.
all thanks to basic data analysis.
These examples are great because they show that you don't have to be a huge tech company
Right.
to get value out of data.
Mm-hmm.
Even small businesses can make a big impact with simple tools and a little data know-how.
Exactly. It's not about how complex the data is or the tools are.
Yeah.
It's about understanding what your data is telling you
Right.
and using it to make smart decisions.
So we've seen how individual businesses can benefit.
Yeah.
What about at a team level?
Okay.
How do you create a data literate culture within an organization?
That's where it gets really interesting. It's a shift in mindset.
Okay.
Making data part of your company's DNA.
Uh-huh.
It all starts with leadership, setting an example.
Okay.
If you as a leader make your decisions based on data and you talk about that process,
Yeah.
it sends a powerful message to your team.
So instead of just saying we need to be more data-driven,
Right.
it's about showing it in your actions, your decisions.
Exactly.
What about incorporating data into, like, everyday workflows?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
Start meetings with a quick review of key metrics.
Okay.
Encourage teams to use data to track their progress towards goals.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
What about team members who are intimidated by data?
Right.
How do you get them over that fear?
I think training is key, but it doesn't have to be super complicated or expensive.
Okay.
Think about short, focused sessions.
Okay.
Maybe someone on the team who's comfortable with Excel
Yeah.
can lead a quick tutorial on analyzing data or creating pivot tables.
I love that, just leveraging the skills that are already there in the team.
Yeah, exactly.
Making it fun and approachable.
Uh-huh.
You could also identify, like, data champions.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Those are like the enthusiastic team members who can act as coaches and advocates
Right.
for these data-driven practices.
Exactly.
So you got leadership setting the example,
Yeah.
incorporating data into the workflows and providing training and support.
Mm-hmm.
What's next? How do you keep that momentum going?
Just like any new initiative, setting clear goals and celebrating those wins is key.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, let's use data more,
Yeah.
maybe you set a goal like reduce order processing time by 20% in the next 6 months.
Okay.
Then use data to track progress and celebrate success along the way.
I like that, making it tangible.
Right.
Showing how it contributes to real business goals.
Yeah, exactly. It's about making data a tool for empowerment,
Yeah.
not something to be intimidated by.
Okay, I'm really starting to see how this all comes together.
Yeah.
It's not just about the numbers themselves.
Mhm.
It's about creating a culture where data is valued and understood and used to make better decisions
Right.
at all levels of the organization.
Exactly. And that cultural shift
Yeah.
leads to smarter decisions, better efficiency, and ultimately a more successful business.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, like, the whole AI thing still feels a little bit like science fiction to me.
I understand.
Yeah, like so complex
Yeah.
and out of reach.
Especially for a small business. But
Yeah.
the truth is, AI is becoming more and more accessible thanks to something called AI APIs.
AI APIs, okay.
Think of it like ordering takeout from your favorite restaurant app.
Okay.
You don't need to know how to cook the food.
Yeah.
You just need to know how to use the app.
Right, to get what you want.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So instead of building your own AI system from scratch,
Yeah.
you can basically rent AI capabilities from a third-party provider through an API.
Okay, so I'm starting to get the picture. Instead of building it myself, I can kind of use these APIs to tap into AI services.
Exactly.
For things like analyzing data, automating tasks, even personalizing customer experiences.
Uh-huh.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it is.
So are there any like specific examples of how these APIs are being used in like the financial sector?
Yeah, one of the most impactful applications is in fraud detection.
Okay.
So traditional fraud detection systems often rely on preset rules,
Uh-huh.
which criminals can easily figure out how to bypass.
Right.
But an AI-powered system can analyze thousands of data points
Okay.
in real time to identify patterns that humans might miss.
So it's like having a super-powered fraud detective working 24/7
Exactly.
to protect your business.
Right.
That's really cool.
Yeah. And some cloud providers even offer fraud detection as a service through an API.
Oh, wow.
For example, Amazon Fraud Detector
Okay.
lets you send transaction data through their API,
Okay.
and they send back a fraud risk score based on their AI models.
So a small bank or credit union could easily integrate this into their systems
Exactly.
and get state-of-the-art fraud detection without having to build it themselves.
Right. It's amazing.
That's incredible, and that's just one example.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see how AI APIs can really level the playing field for small businesses.
Absolutely. But before we get too carried away
Okay.
with all the possibilities of AI,
Yeah.
there's one crucial thing we need to talk about.
Okay, what's that?
Choosing the right tools
Okay.
to support your data and AI journey.
Okay.
It's like building a house.
Uh-huh.
You need the right tools to lay a strong foundation.
Okay, I'm all ears.
All right, so we're talking about the core systems that form the backbone of your data infrastructure,
Okay.
CRMs, ERPs, and analytics platforms.
Okay.
Each one plays a vital role in managing your data,
Okay.
automating processes, and getting those valuable insights.
So let's break those down.
Okay.
Starting with CRMs.
All right.
I think most people have at least heard of a CRM.
Yeah.
But can you just give us a quick refresher on what a CRM actually does?
Sure.
And why it's so important for businesses?
Think of a CRM, or Customer Relationship Management System,
Uh-huh.
as a centralized hub for all your customer interactions,
Okay.
like a superpowered Rolodex
Okay.
that keeps track of every interaction with a customer,
Yeah.
from their first website visit to their purchase history, emails, support tickets, you name it.
Okay, so it's more than just storing contact information.
Right.
It's about understanding the customer journey
Exactly.
and building those lasting relationships.
Okay.
I can already see how valuable that could be.
And modern CRMs go even further.
Okay.
They can automate tasks,
Okay.
generate reports,
Uh-huh.
even provide AI-powered insights to tailor your interactions to each customer's needs.
That sounds really sophisticated.
It is. But I'm sure you're about to say there are a million different CRMs out there.
Well, yeah, there are.
There are. That can be overwhelming.
Sure, but don't worry.
Okay.
We'll unpack the key considerations for picking the right one.
All right. Sounds good.
But before we do that,
Yeah.
let's move on to ERPs.
Okay, so I have to admit I'm a little fussy on ERPs.
Okay?
Can you shed some light on those?
So an ERP, or Enterprise Resource Planning System,
Okay.
is basically the central nervous system of your business.
Okay. It integrates all your core functions,
Mhm.
from finance and accounting
Mm-hmm.
to human resources,
Yeah.
manufacturing, supply chain management,
Okay.
even customer relationship management,
Okay.
which is where it overlaps with the CRM.
So if the CRM is the brain, focusing on the customer interactions,
Right.
the ERP is like the nervous system, connecting all the different parts of the business.
That's a great way to put it.
Okay.
The beauty of an ERP is that it replaces all those different siloed systems
Yeah.
with one unified platform.
Okay.
So everyone's working with the same data,
Uh-huh.
which improves accuracy, reduces errors, and makes everything more efficient.
I'm starting to see how powerful that can be.
It is.
No more data silos,
Right.
no more conflicting information,
Uh-huh.
just one source of truth for the entire business.
Exactly.
But just like CRMs,
Yeah.
I'm guessing there are a ton of different ERPs to choose from.
You're right, there are.
So how do we even start?
We'll get to that, but first,
Okay.
let's talk about making sense of all this data.
Okay.
We've been collecting and managing with our CRMs and ERPs.
Yeah.
That's where analytics platforms come in.
Okay, so CRMs and ERPs are about collecting and managing data.
Uh-huh.
And then analytics platforms are about turning that data into something usable.
Exactly.
Right?
They're the tools that help you analyze, visualize, and get those actionable insights from your data.
Okay.
And just like with CRMs and ERPs,
Yeah.
there's a wide range of analytics platforms out there,
Okay.
from simple spreadsheet-based tools to sophisticated cloud-based solutions
Okay.
that use AI and machine learning.
So this is where I start to get a little lost.
Okay.
Can you give me a quick overview of the different types of platforms? How do they differ?
Traditional business intelligence, or BI tools,
Okay.
are great for looking back and understanding what happened in the past.
Okay.
Think about aggregating data, creating dashboards, and visualizing trends.
Okay, so BI is about understanding the past.
Uh-huh.
What about predicting the future?
That's where AI-powered analytics platforms come in.
Okay.
They use machine learning algorithms to analyze massive amounts of data,
Okay.
find hidden patterns, and predict what might happen in the future.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
It is, but it's becoming more accessible.
Okay.
There are AI-powered platforms designed with user-friendly interfaces
Yeah.
and pre-built models,
Okay.
even automated machine learning.
Okay.
So you don't need a team of data scientists.
That's reassuring.
Yeah.
But with all these options and features,
Yeah.
how do I even begin to choose the right platform for my business?
That's a great question.
It does feel overwhelming.
It can be.
Yeah.
But before we dig into that,
Okay.
there's one critical aspect of data management that we haven't talked about yet.
What's that?
Data cleaning.
Data cleaning.
Yeah.
Okay. I have to admit, that doesn't sound nearly as exciting as AI
I know, right?
or predictive analytics.
It does sound a bit tedious.
Yeah.
But trust me, it's super important.
Okay, why is clean data so important?
Think of it like this.
Okay.
Your data is the foundation on which you build your entire data strategy.
Mm-hmm.
If that foundation is shaky,
Yeah.
everything you build on top of it will be unstable.
But you're saying bad data is like a shaky foundation
Exactly.
for your house.
It can really undermine everything else you try to build.
Okay, that's a powerful image.
Yeah.
So dirty data can lead to bad decisions and wasted resources.
Absolutely.
Okay, I think we'll leave it there for now.
Sounds good.
And when we come back, we'll talk more about choosing the perfect tools to unlock the power of data for your business.
Sounds great.
We'll be right back. Okay, so we're back, and we're ready to dive into choosing the right tools for your data and AI journey.
It's like assembling a toolkit.
Okay,
Got to make sure you got the right tools for the job.
right.
And the first tool we're going to focus on is that CRM.
Okay.
It's the foundation of your customer relationship strategy.
Okay, so let's talk CRM selection.
Okay?
What are the key things to consider?
Well, one of the first things you got to think about is cost.
Okay,
And I don't just mean the sticker price.
right.
Think about the total cost of ownership.
Okay.
Implementation, support, any potential customizations, the whole shebang.
So we're thinking long-term investment, not just the upfront cost.
Exactly.
Okay, so how do we find a CRM that fits the budget then?
Well, if you're a small business or a startup with limited resources,
Yeah.
there are some great entry-level CRMs out there,
Okay.
like HubSpot or Zoho.
Okay.
They offer a lot of functionality for a really reasonable price.
Those are good to know.
Yeah.
What about for larger businesses
Okay.
with more complex needs?
For larger businesses or those with specific industry requirements,
Yeah.
platforms like Salesforce or Microsoft Dynamics 365 might be a better fit.
Okay.
They're more robust and customizable,
Yeah.
but they do come with a higher price tag.
Okay, cost is a big factor.
Uh-huh.
What else should we be thinking about?
Integration is crucial. Your CRM shouldn't be an island.
Right.
It needs to work seamlessly with your other systems,
Yeah.
accounting software, email marketing platform, e-commerce platform, you name it.
Makes sense. I definitely don't want a bunch of systems that can't talk to each other.
Right. Nobody wants data silos.
Definitely not.
So before you commit to a CRM,
Okay.
make sure it integrates with your existing tech stack,
Okay.
whether through native integrations or APIs.
Okay.
For example, if you rely heavily on Microsoft products,
Yeah.
you might consider Microsoft Dynamics 365.
Okay.
It integrates really well with tools like Outlook and Office 365.
All right, cost and integration, check.
Okay?
What about AI and automation?
Oh, yes.
Everyone's talking about AI these days.
Uh-huh.
How can I make sure my CRM is using the latest AI technology?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
AI is really changing the CRM game.
Okay.
Many platforms now offer AI features built right in.
Okay, give us some examples.
Okay, imagine your CRM analyzing past deal data to predict which leads are most likely to convert.
Wow.
It could even automate responses to common customer inquiries,
Okay.
freeing up your team to focus on more complex tasks.
So AI can help me close more deals
Right.
and provide better customer service while saving time and money.
Exactly.
I'm sold. What else can AI do for my CRM?
That's just the tip of the iceberg.
Okay.
AI can personalize those customer interactions,
Okay.
automate marketing campaigns,
Uh-huh.
even identify potential churn risks before they become a problem.
Okay, this AI stuff is impressive.
Yeah, it is.
But how do I know if a CRM's AI features are actually any good?
Do your research.
Okay.
Look for CRMs that highlight AI capabilities that are relevant to your needs.
Okay.
Don't be afraid to ask for demos or trials.
Yeah, makes sense.
See the AI in action before you commit.
Try before you buy.
Exactly.
All right, so we talked about cost, integration, and AI.
Uh-huh.
What else should I be considering when I'm choosing a CRM?
Customization and scalability.
Okay.
Every business is unique, so you want your CRM to adapt to your specific processes
Okay.
and workflows.
So I don't want a one-size-fits-all solution.
Right. You need a CRM that can grow and evolve as your business does.
Okay.
And speaking of growing, scalability is super important.
Yeah, my business is growing quickly.
Okay, so you want to look for CRMs that can handle a growing user base,
Yeah.
increasing data volumes, and changing needs.
Yeah, I want to make sure it can keep up.
You want a CRM that can grow with you
Okay.
without needing a complete system overhaul down the road.
Okay, so cost, integration, AI, customization, and scalability.
Uh-huh.
Anything else I should be thinking about?
Don't forget user-friendliness.
Okay.
A powerful CRM is no good if your team can't or won't use it.
Right.
So prioritize those intuitive interfaces,
Okay.
easy to navigate menus,
Uh-huh.
and make sure there's readily available support
Right.
and training materials.
That's really important.
It is.
I've seen software implementations fail because people just found the tool too hard to use.
Yeah, for sure.
It seems like choosing the right CRM is a pretty big decision.
It is.
Any final words of wisdom for our listeners who might be feeling overwhelmed?
Don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay.
There's a ton of resources online,
Yeah.
and there are consultants who specialize in guiding businesses through this whole process.
Okay.
A good consultant can assess your needs,
Yeah.
evaluate CRM options,
Uh-huh.
even manage the implementation process
Okay.
to make sure everything goes smoothly.
That's excellent advice.
Yeah,
All right, so we've covered CRMs.
we have.
Now let's move on to ERPs.
Okay.
What are some things to keep in mind when evaluating those different ERP solutions?
Well, a lot of the same principles apply to ERPs as CRMs.
Okay.
Cost, integration, user-friendliness, scalability.
Okay.
But there are also a few ERP-specific things to consider.
Okay, I'm curious. Tell me more.
Functionality is a big one.
Okay.
ERPs are complex systems that can cover a wide range of business functions. So you need to make sure the ERP you choose has the modules and features you need.
So accounting, inventory management, human resources, supply chain, all that.
Exactly.
Okay.
And you also need to think about how those modules work together.
Okay.
A well-designed ERP should have seamless information flow between modules.
Okay.
So data is shared and updated in real time across the whole system.
Right. I can see how data silos between departments could be a real problem.
Definitely.
So functionality and integration are key.
Uh-huh. Industry expertise.
Okay.
Some ERP vendors specialize in particular industries,
Okay.
like manufacturing, retail, or healthcare.
So if I'm in the manufacturing industry,
Right.
I should be looking for an ERP that's tailored to those specific processes.
Exactly.
Okay.
An industry-specific ERP will have features tailored to your needs,
Makes sense.
saving you time and effort down the line.
Okay, great point.
And then there's the deployment model.
Deployment model. Okay.
ERPs can be deployed on premises, in the cloud, or in a hybrid model.
Can you break those down for me? I'm not really familiar with the differences.
Sure, on-premises ERPs give you more control over your data and systems,
Okay.
but they require a bigger upfront investment in hardware and IT infrastructure.
Okay, that makes sense.
Cloud-based ERPs are generally more affordable,
Okay.
and they offer greater flexibility and scalability,
Yeah.
but you're relying on a third-party provider for security and reliability.
Okay.
And then hybrid models kind of combine the best of both worlds.
Okay, so I can pick and choose what works best for me.
Exactly.
That's a lot to consider.
It is.
Any last words of wisdom before we move on to analytics platforms?
Just like with CRMs, don't be afraid to ask for help.
Okay.
Implementing an ERP is a big project.
Yeah,
So it's crucial to have the right expertise on your side.
that's good advice.
A qualified consultant can really help you navigate your options,
Okay.
make smart decisions, and ensure a smooth implementation.
Great. All right, we've covered CRMs and ERP.
We have.
Now let's talk about the tools that help us make sense of all that data.
Okay.
Analytics platforms.
Data is only as valuable as the insights you get from it,
Right.
and that's where analytics platforms come in.
Okay.
They help you transform raw data into something you can actually use.
Okay, so remind me.
Yeah.
What's the key difference between traditional BI tools and those more advanced AI-powered analytics platforms?
Traditional BI tools are great for looking back and understanding what happened.
Okay.
They're good at aggregating data from different sources,
Yeah.
creating dashboards and reports,
Okay.
visualizing trends and patterns.
So BI is for looking back.
Right.
And AI is for predicting the future.
Exactly.
Okay.
AI-powered analytics platforms take things a step further.
Okay.
They use machine learning to analyze huge amounts of data,
Uh-huh.
identify those hidden patterns, and predict future trends.
That sounds incredibly powerful.
It is.
But also very complex.
It can be.
Yeah, and intimidating. Especially for someone who's not a data scientist.
But the good news is AI is becoming more and more accessible,
Okay, good.
even for businesses that don't have a whole team of data scientists.
That's good to hear.
Yeah, there are platforms out there with intuitive interfaces,
Uh-huh.
pre-built models,
Uh-huh.
and even automated machine learning capabilities.
So that makes it easier to use AI for data analysis.
Exactly.
So how do I go about choosing the right platform for my business?
Well, just like with CRMs and ERPs,
Yeah.
you want to think about cost, integration, user-friendliness, and scalability.
Right, those are the big ones.
Yeah, but with analytics platforms, there are a few extra things that are important.
Okay, tell me more.
Data visualization capabilities.
Okay.
The whole point of an analytics platform is to make data easier to understand.
Right.
So that means having good visualization tools.
So I'm not just looking for raw numbers
Right.
and spreadsheets.
Uh-huh.
I want charts, graphs, dashboards, all that good stuff.
Exactly. You want a variety of options.
Okay.
Bar charts, line graphs,
Yeah.
even more complex visualizations like heat maps,
Okay.
scatter plots, and tree maps.
All right, so I need to make sure it has a good variety of visualization options.
Right, and it should be easy to customize those visualizations to fit your needs.
Okay, so I can create dashboards that highlight the KPIs that are most important to my business.
Exactly.
And tailor those dashboards to different audiences, like my executive team or my marketing team.
Precisely.
Okay, so data visualization is key.
It is.
What else should I be looking for?
Data connectivity is also essential.
Okay.
Your platform needs to be able to connect to all your relevant data sources.
Yeah.
CRM, ERP, marketing automation platform, your social media accounts, even external data sources.
Okay, that's a lot of data.
It is.
How can I be sure it can handle it all?
That's where data integration capabilities come in.
Okay.
A good platform will have a range of data connectors and integration tools.
Okay.
So you can import, plane, transform, and blend data from lots of different sources.
So I can pull data from my CRM,
Uh-huh.
combine it with data from my marketing platform,
Right.
and then enrich it with external data to
Exactly.
get a complete picture.
Precisely.
That's
And a
awesome.
lot of modern platforms can even automate much of that process.
Okay, so that saves me a ton of time and effort.
Exactly.
Right, data visualization and data connectivity.
Uh-huh.
What else is important when choosing an analytics platform?
Don't forget about collaboration features.
Okay,
Data analysis is rarely a solo thing.
right,
So a good platform will let you share insights,
okay,
collaborate on dashboards,
yeah.
and even embed visualizations in other applications.
Being able to share those insights with my team would be super valuable.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Some platforms even let you create interactive presentations
Wow.
or embed live dashboards
Okay.
in other tools like your CRM or company intranet.
So it's really easy to share those insights with the people who need them.
Exactly.
All right, so collaboration is key.
It is.
We talk about AI for data analysis.
Uh-huh.
How do I make sure my chosen platform is actually using the latest AI capabilities?
That's a great question. AI is becoming really important for these platforms.
Okay.
Some of them, especially those offered by big companies like Google and Microsoft,
Okay.
have integrated AI features that can automatically detect anomalies in your data,
Wow.
generate insights from natural language queries.
So I can just ask a question in plain English?
Exactly.
Okay.
And the AI will create a visualization that answers my question.
That's incredible.
Yeah, and that's just the beginning.
Okay.
AI can automate things like data cleansing,
Mm-hmm.
predictive modeling, even report generation.
So it frees me up to focus on the more strategic stuff.
Precisely.
This is all really amazing.
It is.
But with all these options, how do I actually choose the right platform?
Well, don't be afraid to experiment.
Okay.
A lot of platforms offer free trials or freemium versions.
Okay.
So you can try before you buy.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, and there are also consultants who can help you navigate the process.
Okay, so choosing and implementing an analytics platform can be complex.
It can be.
So it might be wise to get some expert guidance.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've covered CRMs, ERPs, and analytics platforms.
Uh-huh.
I'm starting to feel like a data and AI expert.
You're getting there.
But there's one more piece of the puzzle we need to discuss.
Okay.
And it might not be as glamorous as AI or fancy dashboards.
It's not data cleaning.
Data cleaning, okay.
I know, it doesn't sound as exciting.
It doesn't.
But trust me, it's one of the most important things you can do.
All right, I'm listening.
Think of it this way. You wouldn't build a house on a foundation that's full of cracks and holes, right?
Right, so bad data is like a shaky foundation.
Exactly.
Okay.
Your data is the foundation of your entire data strategy.
Yeah.
If that foundation is flawed,
Okay.
everything you build on top of it, all those fancy AI models and dashboards,
Yeah.
they're going to be unreliable.
Okay, I see your point.
So clean data is really important.
It is.
But can you give me some examples of what kind of problems dirty data can actually cause? Imagine you're trying to analyze customer buying patterns
Okay.
to personalize marketing campaigns.
Yeah.
If your customer data is full of errors,
Uh-huh.
inconsistent, missing information,
Okay.
your analysis will be flawed.
Yeah.
Your campaigns won't be effective.
Right.
You might end up sending the wrong message to the wrong people.
And wasting money.
Exactly.
Okay, so dirty data can lead to wasted marketing spend.
Uh-huh.
What other risks are there?
Inaccurate financial reporting,
Okay.
skewed sales forecasts,
Yeah.
flawed risk assessments,
Uh-huh.
even regulatory compliance issues.
Oh, wow.
It can really damage trust in your data
Yeah.
and make it harder to make good decisions.
So dirty data equals bad insights.
Right.
Which equals bad decisions.
Uh-huh.
And potentially even legal problems.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm officially terrified of dirty data.
Good.
But how do we clean it up? It sounds like a big task.
It can be challenging.
Yeah.
But it's not impossible.
Okay.
And there are tools and techniques to help.
Okay, good. What's the first step?
You need to do a data audit.
Data audit. Okay.
Figure out what data you have, where it came from, and what issues you're dealing with.
Oh, okay.
It's like taking inventory of your data assets.
So identify all my data sources,
Uh-huh.
what kind of data I have,
Yeah.
look for any red flags,
Exactly.
missing values, inconsistencies, duplicates.
Precisely.
Once I understand my data, I can make a plan to clean it up.
Right.
What does a good data cleaning plan look like?
A good plan starts with defining data quality standards for your organization,
Okay.
setting clear rules for how data should be entered, formatted, and stored.
So consistent date formats,
Uh-huh.
standardizing abbreviations,
Right.
validation rules for data entry,
Exactly.
and processes for merging duplicates.
Precisely.
Okay, so the goal is to create a consistent framework for managing data quality across the entire organization.
That's the idea.
Okay, so we've got our standards. What's next?
Now you got to start cleaning up the data.
Okay.
And the best way to do it is methodically,
Okay.
One issue at a time.
So we're not trying to do everything at once, breaking
Yeah.
it down into smaller steps.
Exactly.
Start with the most critical issues,
Uh-huh.
fixing errors, filling in missing values, removing duplicates. Are there tools out there to help with this? I'm hoping there's a magic button for data cleaning.
No magic button, I'm afraid.
Okay.
But there are definitely tools that can help.
Okay, good.
There's a whole range of data cleaning tools available.
Okay.
From simple spreadsheet-based tools to more sophisticated software
Okay.
that use AI and machine learning.
So at least I don't have to do all this manually.
Right, technology can automate some of the heavy lifting.
That's good to know.
And there are even consultants who specialize in this,
Okay.
who can help you develop and implement a data quality strategy.
That's a relief.
Yeah.
All right, so let's say we've cleaned up our data.
Okay.
What's next?
Now you got to keep it clean.
Okay.
Embed those data quality checks into your ongoing processes.
Okay.
Make it an ongoing priority. Exactly.
So ongoing maintenance, not just a one-time fix.
Right, so you might implement validation rules in your data entry forms.
Okay.
Automate those data quality checks as part of your data integration,
Uh-huh.
or even train your staff on best practices.
Okay, so we're building a culture of data quality.
Exactly.
By making it a continuous effort. We make sure our data is always accurate and reliable.
And ready to fuel those AI initiatives.
Okay, I'm starting to see how important this is.
It is.
It's not glamorous, but it's essential.
Think of it as building a solid foundation.
Right, for your data house.
Exactly.
Without it, everything else will crumble.
Clean data is an investment that pays off in the long run.
All right, so we've covered CRMs, ERPs, analytics platforms, and data cleaning.
Yeah.
I'm feeling pretty good about my data strategy.
You should.
But there's one more thing that's been on my mind.
Okay, what's that?
Security.
Oh, yes.
We're talking about sensitive business data, financial information, customer data.
Right.
All sorts of valuable and potentially vulnerable information.
It's a big concern.
Yeah, how do I make sure my data is safe, especially with all these cyber threats out there?
That's an excellent question.
It is.
Data security is super important.
Yeah.
And protecting your AI assets is just as important as protecting your financial assets.
Okay, I'm ready for my crash course in AI security.
Oh, right.
What are the biggest threats I should be aware of?
Well, there's a whole range of threats to consider.
Okay.
Traditional cyber attacks,
Uh-huh.
like data breaches and malware infections.
Yeah, those are the ones I know about.
Right, but then there are also more AI-specific threats,
Okay.
like adversarial attacks.
Adversarial attacks, okay.
And model poisoning.
Model poisoning, those sound scary.
They can be.
Can you break those down for me? I've never heard of those before.
Sure. So an adversarial attack is when someone manipulates the input data
Okay.
to an AI system
Uh-huh.
to make it make a mistake.
So instead of hacking the system,
Right.
they're trying to trick the AI itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
And these attacks can be really subtle,
Okay.
hard to detect.
Give me an example.
Okay, imagine someone slightly alters the pixels in an image
Okay.
that's being fed to an AI-powered security camera.
Okay.
The changes might be invisible to us,
Yeah.
but they could cause the AI to misclassify the image
Okay.
and not trigger an alarm.
Wow, that's both fascinating and terrifying.
It is.
What about model poisoning?
Model poisoning is an attack where the attacker manipulates the data
Okay.
that's used to train the AI model.
Okay, the training data. So
Yeah.
if they can control the training data, they can control the AI's behavior.
Exactly.
Okay.
And the scary part is the model might seem like it's working fine,
Right.
but its predictions are subtly biased
Wow.
or skewed in the attacker's favor.
Okay, this is starting to feel like a sci-fi movie.
It can feel that way.
What can businesses do to protect themselves from these attacks?
The good news is a lot of the basic cybersecurity principles apply to AI systems too.
Okay, good.
So strong access controls,
Okay.
encrypting sensitive data,
Yeah.
regularly updating software and security patches.
So the basics of cybersecurity still apply.
They do, but what about those AI-specific threats?
Yeah, are there any extra precautions we should take?
Absolutely. One of the most important things is to carefully check your training data.
Okay.
Make sure it's coming from reliable sources.
Yeah.
Implement processes to detect and remove any malicious or biased data.
So we're talking about data integrity.
Right.
For the AI.
Exactly.
Okay.
There are also techniques like adversarial training
Adversarial training. Okay.
that can help make your AI models more resistant to those attacks.
Okay, so we're essentially training the AI to defend itself.
Exactly.
Okay.
So we expose the AI to a bunch of adversarial examples during training,
Okay.
and that helps it learn to recognize and defend against those types of attacks.
Okay, so AI security is a whole other area of expertise.
It is, and it's constantly evolving.
Okay, so what's the key takeaway for our listeners? How can they make sure their AI is secure and protected?
Be proactive and strategic about AI security.
Okay.
Don't wait for an attack to happen.
Right.
Build security into your AI development process from the very beginning,
Okay.
and stay up to date on the latest threats
Yeah, stay informed.
and mitigation strategies.
So it's a continuous process
It is.
of assessment, adaptation, and improvement.
Exactly.
So are there experts who can help businesses with this?
Absolutely.
Okay.
There are cybersecurity firms and consultants
Okay.
who can help assess your risks,
Yeah.
develop strategies, and implement best practices.
So when in doubt, seek expert advice.
Precisely. Don't try to go it alone,
Right.
especially since things are constantly changing.
Okay, so we've talked about the threats.
Uh-huh.
We've talked about mitigation.
Right.
Is there anything else we need to cover in AI security?
One more thing, the regulatory landscape.
Regulations.
I know it's not everyone's favorite topic,
It's not.
but they're becoming increasingly important,
Okay.
especially as AI makes more decisions that impact our lives.
I'm sensing this is a big deal.
It is.
Can you give me some examples of how regulations are impacting the use of AI?
One of the biggest developments lately
Okay.
is the EU's General Data Protection Regulation.
GDPR, I've heard of that.
Yeah, it has major implications for
Okay.
any organization that handles personal data,
Okay.
including those using AI systems.
So even if my AI isn't specifically targeting people in the EU,
Right.
if I'm using any personal data at all,
Uh-huh.
I need to be aware of the GDPR.
Exactly.
Okay.
GDPR sets strict rules for data privacy, transparency, and accountability.
Okay.
So you have to protect your customers' data,
Yeah.
your employees' data, your partners' data.
Okay, GDPR is a big one.
It is.
What other regulations should I be aware of?
There are other regulations emerging specifically for AI. For example, the EU is working on an AI Act
AI Act. Okay.
that will categorize AI systems based on their risk level
Okay.
and put stricter regulations on high-risk systems.
Makes sense. So things like healthcare, finance, law enforcement.
Exactly.
Okay, so the landscape is changing quickly.
It is. So how can businesses keep up?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Organizations like the OECD and the World Economic Forum
Okay.
are actively developing frameworks
Okay.
and guidelines for responsible AI.
So there are organizations out there trying to make sense of all this.
Exactly.
That's good to know.
And there are also law firms and consultants
Okay.
who can help businesses navigate those complexities.
So just like with security, when in doubt, seek expert advice.
Exactly.
All right, we've covered a lot of ground today.
We have.
From the basics of data analytics to AI, security, and regulations.
It's been a lot.
Yeah, I'm a little overwhelmed
I understand.
by all this information.
You don't need to become a data scientist overnight.
Right, that's reassuring.
Just take it one step at a time.
Okay.
Focus on building a solid foundation.
Okay, start small.
Right.
Seek expert guidance.
Uh-huh.
Don't be afraid to experiment.
Exactly.
Okay.
And remember, this world is constantly changing.
Right.
What's cutting edge today might be obsolete tomorrow.
Yeah, so stay agile.
Embrace continuous learning
Okay.
and be prepared to adapt.
Okay, so we're back and ready to tackle data visualization.
Yeah, it's a really powerful T.
It is, and it sounds like a fun one after all that talk about security and regulations.
I agree. It can be a lot more fun.
So we've talked about the importance of data, keeping it clean, the complexities of AI.
Uh-huh.
But how does data visualization fit into all of this?
Well, think about it. You've gathered all this data,
Yeah.
cleaned it up, analyzed it,
Uh-huh.
maybe even used AI to find insights.
Right.
But if you can't communicate those insights,
Yeah.
what good are they?
Data's only valuable if it leads to better decisions.
Exactly.
And decisions are made by people.
Right.
Who need to understand the data.
And that's where data visualization comes in.
Okay.
It's about turning raw data into visuals that anyone can understand.
So instead of getting lost in spreadsheets,
Yeah.
we can use cells and graphs
Exactly.
to tell the story of the data.
Right. And a well-designed visualization can make things so much clearer.
Okay.
It can show you trends, patterns,
Uh-huh.
and communicate insights in a way that makes people take action.
So instead of drowning in numbers,
Right.
we're using visuals to make the data more engaging and easier to understand.
Exactly.
I like that,
Yeah.
but I've seen a lot of charts and graphs that are confusing or just plain ugly.
I know what you mean. There's definitely an art to it.
So how can I make sure my data visualizations are actually effective?
Well, there are a few key principles to keep in mind.
Okay, I'm all ears.
First, know your audience.
Okay,
Who are you creating this for?
right.
What are they trying to achieve?
Okay.
What level of detail do they need?
So if I'm presenting to my executive team,
Yeah.
I might focus on the high-level stuff,
Right.
the key metrics that are driving the business.
Uh-huh.
But if I'm talking to the marketing team,
Okay.
I might dive deeper into specific campaign metrics.
Exactly.
Okay, so tailoring the visualization to the audience.
Makes it much more effective.
Okay, great advice. What else?
Choose the right chart type.
Okay.
There are so many options.
Yeah, there are
Bar charts, line graphs, scatter plots, heat maps, tree maps, the list goes on.
so many choices.
The key is to pick the one that best represents the data you're trying to communicate.
Okay, so if I want to show trends over time,
Yeah.
line graph is probably the best choice.
Right.
But if I'm comparing categories,
Uh-huh.
a bar chart might be better.
Exactly. Or if you want to see the relationship between two variables,
Yeah.
a scatter plot could be good.
Okay, this is starting to make more sense.
Yeah.
What else?
Keep it simple.
Okay.
Avoid clutter, unnecessary embellishments.
Right, less is more.
Exactly.
No chart junk.
But don't be afraid to use color and labels
Yeah,
to highlight key insights.
makes sense.
Make your visualizations more engaging.
All right, so we've talked about knowing your audience,
Uh-huh.
choosing the right chart type,
Yep,
and keeping it simple.
right.
Any other tips?
Yes, don't forget about AI.
I knew you were going to say that.
Of course.
How can AI help with data visualization?
Well, AI tools can actually automate a lot of the process,
Okay,
like picking the best chart type
okay.
or identifying patterns in your data.
So less manual work for me.
Exactly.
That's good.
And some AI tools can even generate insights from natural language.
Okay, like I could ask a question
Yeah.
in plain English,
Uh-huh.
and the AI will create a visualization that answers my question.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
It's pretty amazing.
AI is making this whole thing much more accessible.
Definitely.
Okay, so we've talked about the principles of data visualization
Uh-huh.
and the role of AI. Can you give me some examples of how businesses are using this stuff to get real results?
Sure. Let's start with finance.
Okay,
CFOs and finance teams are using AI-powered dashboards
okay,
to track market shifts, monitor risk, and even detect fraud,
okay.
and gives them a really clear view of the company's financial health.
So they can make faster decisions.
Exactly.
Okay.
And it's not just about speed, it's
Mm.
about making it easier to understand complex financial information.
Okay, so finance is a good example.
Uh-huh.
What about other industries?
Healthcare providers are using data visualization to improve patient care.
Okay,
Imagine a hospital command center
okay,
with dashboards that show bottlenecks, predict readmission risks,
okay.
and track critical resources.
Wow, so they can make better decisions about patient care
Exactly.
and how to use their resources.
Right, and it's not just hospitals.
Yeah.
It's also being used for public health initiatives.
Okay, like tracking diseases.
Yeah, identifying at-risk populations, communicating health information.
That's pretty powerful.
It is.
What about retail?
Retailers are using it to optimize their inventory, personalize marketing,
Okay,
and improve the customer experience.
okay,
They use heat map to track sales patterns,
okay.
figure out what's selling well,
Uh-huh.
and how to arrange the store to boost sales.
So they're using data to make decisions
Right.
instead of just guessing.
And they used AI-powered recommendation engines.
Okay, so personalized product suggestions.
Exactly.
All right, retail. Got it.
What about manufacturing?
Okay, I'm not sure how they would use data visualization.
They use it to improve efficiency, reduce downtime,
Okay,
and make sure their products are high quality.
okay,
Think about dashboards that track machine performance,
okay.
alert operators to problems,
Uh-huh.
and identify areas for improvement.
Wow, so they can be proactive about maintenance
Exactly.
and prevent problems before they happen.
And they can also track energy consumption,
Okay,
find ways to reduce waste,
okay.
and become more sustainable.
These examples are amazing. It seems like data visualization can really transform any industry.
It can. It's a versatile tool for solving problems and driving innovation.
This is really inspiring, but I'm still a little intimidated by implementing it.
I get it. It can seem complex,
Yeah.
but you don't need to be a data scientist to do this.
Okay, good.
There are lots of user-friendly tools out there
Okay.
and consultants who can help.
Okay, so what's the first step for me?
Start by figuring out which metrics are most important to your business.
Okay, so going back to those KPIs, the
Exactly.
ones that drive our strategy.
Right.
Once I know my key metrics,
Yeah.
then I can start thinking about how to visualize them.
And that's where those tools and consultants can help.
Okay, great.
There are tools that can create dashboards, generate reports,
Yeah.
even automate the whole visualization process.
All right, so if I need help, I can turn it to those resources.
Absolutely.
This has been an awesome deep dive.
It has.
We've gone from data literacy and AI APIs
Uh.
to data cleaning, security, and regulations.
It's been a journey.
It has, and we've seen how data visualization can bring it all together, turning data into insights that actually make a difference.
Data is for everyone,
Exactly.
not just data scientists.
It's a powerful tool for any business.
So embrace the power of data.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to experiment
Okay.
and never stop learning.
Great advice. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into the world of data and AI.
It does.
We hope you've enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that you feel empowered to unlock the power of data in your own business.
Absolutely.
Until next time, keep diving.